is Acrylic, aka Nika, and welcome to my channel. Very glad to see you here. Today we are taking a look at the stuff that has somehow mysteriously found its way into my craft room first months of the year, so January and February. And some of it is just top-ups of the stuff that I needed, and some of it is totally new stuff. So I am a fan of acrylic markers. I love using them. I love blending with them. I occasionally do full pages with them, which I think could be a theme for a couple of videos on this channel, because you can get really cool results with them. And I found this set, which I don't know if it's always very cheap, but it was super cheap on Temu. And I was intrigued because it has kind of like fine nib or kind of regular nib. The packaging is, yeah, the box is kind of not fun. It would probably end up in rubber bands in some sort of a box, because I'm not really a fan of this layout. So one end is regular nib, like this here, and another end is a dot nib, which, yes, you can use for making dots, but you can also use that for doing bigger surfaces. It's fairly soft. I tried them a little bit. I haven't used them. I just got them yesterday, but I haven't used them for doing a page or anything, but I did do a little bit of a kind of like playing with them, and they're pretty interesting. The fine nib is really for detail work only, but you can blend with it. I did try and it did work for me, but I have my own methods of blending anyway. So, and one thing that impressed me, most of these markers, the caps, the color coding is pretty true to the actual color of the marker. There were a couple, when I was going through them, that were like this one. I think it was one of the few ones. Most of them were actually very good. This one is like totally different color. You know, this looks like dark ochre or brown ochre, the color of the cap, and it's actually kind of buttercup yellowish tone. But most of them are actually very, very close. There's really nice kind of like, if you need flesh tones, it's a good selection of colors. There's some nice darks there as well, which I, was kind of impressed, because often there's problem that everything is mid-toned. There's both pastels and kind of a darker tones here. Nice reds. These reds were lovely. Yeah, it can be a bit of a tricky to get them out of there. Like beautiful, dark, vibrant reds. This is going to see a lot of use, and I'm going to enjoy playing with it. It has 3 trays. Like 1, 2, and then 3. And it has obligatory gold and silver as well, which, might use with some backgrounds, but usually they don't see much of a use. But yeah, going to play with that one pretty soon and combine them with other markers. I really like blending and coloring with acrylic markers, because you can almost use them like you would acrylic paint. One thing is I will still have to test with them is how well, for example, pencils lay on top of these. Because some of them have, like, they all have different inks. Some sets the pencils won't lay on top at all. They're kind of too slippery and won't grip. Some sets pencil goes on top beautifully, so I'll have to check out what these ones are doing for me. The next things I got now are all small things, and they're all replacements. I was running out of regular black and white acrylic markers, and specifically the ones that have thicker nib. I think it's 3mm nib, is it? Yeah, I think so. Because, you know, for bigger lines or, you know, larger surface, the small ones are real pain. So I was looking for like bigger nib ones, and I found them on Temu with a very good price. So Fleicy, I've seen them on Amazon as well, and they're good. I've tried Fleicy ones before. And then Maya from Karin with Maya was saying really good things about New Lango gel pens, white ones, that they're nice and juicy and kind of a thicker line, which I was missing, because I am usually very, very disappointed with any white gel pens. For example, everybody is super fan of Uniball, and I do not get along with Uniball or Sakura white gel pens. They just keep skipping on me, and I do know how to use them. I don't put too much pressure. At the moment, of course, in the camera, it's going to be working. At the moment I switch the camera off, it's going to be skipping on me again. I did try these ones, and they are phenomenal. They are absolutely gorgeous. And once again, the same story, like with any gel pen, don't press. You almost don't touch the, like, you barely touch the paper. But it works the best when you don't put any pressure on it. You just barely touch the paper and it deposits the gel ink. And it's lovely, it's opaque. Very, very happy with that one. This is going to see a lot of use, and I'll fly through these pretty fast. And then I wanted to try out, she was on about the calligraphy gel pens, which come in these beautiful muted colors, and I thought, I'm going to try it out. So they are genuinely, then the same story. They have this thick 1mm nib. The ink comes out beautiful and juicy. It dries matte, which I like. I will also check, you know, kind of let it dry properly, and then you see how it just covers. It was a dark marker there, and it's totally covered. And I let them to dry properly, and try pencils on top as well, because I think I might be able to put some pencil on top as well if they give good enough solid layer. Another one that is a kind of a top up is that I am running low on my super golden markers, and the thicker nibs ones. Surprisingly enough, I use the thicker nib ones more, and this set, I used to have 12 set, but this is 18 set, and once again, it was like, on Temu, the price was really good for this one, like compared to Amazon, very good deal. And I use them often for either outlining images or framing them or just doing little background bits, and they go pretty fast, but they're beautiful. They're pretty reliable. None of them have stopped working on me or anything. But yeah, mine are running low. A couple of them are totally dead, and a couple of them are starting to run low. And this one now has 6 extra colors, kind of a lighter ones, which I like. You know, there's this color that wasn't in my 12 set, and pretty sure this one wasn't there, and this one wasn't there. There's some like more couple of more difficult or pastel colors, which I will definitely try out. I haven't activated them yet, therefore I won't be able to show them to you. I don't want to activate them before I actually start using them. But the nib is like this. It's a thick nib. It's a 3mm nib as well. And it's perfect for doing, you know, framing images, or, you know, as I said, doing little backgrounds. But at the moment, I'm keeping them in this box, and I keep taking them from here as the old ones are running out. This one, wow, this was a whim. I did not need that. Let's be honest, I needed a new set of watercolors, like a hole in my head. Really intrigued me. They're Maries. Maries is pretty well-known Chinese brand, and I have their pencils, and the pencils are good, and I like their tray system for the pencils. So I thought, that sounds interesting. They had a set of, they call it Chinese watercolors, which essentially means that it's Gansai Tambi, because Gansai Tambi is, like, Kuretake Gansai Tambi just means Kuretake watercolors. It's Gansai Tambi is kind of a Chinese-Japanese style of watercolor. It has different binders than European ones. They're not really meant that much for mixing. They're meant for using as they are, just variations with, you know, how much water you add, how dark or how vibrant they or you know, diluted they are. The pans are not very full. I don't know if you can see. There's not a lot of paint in the pans. They look like, you know, oh, they're big pans, but they're actually not full at all. There's like big dips in them. They are very Gansai Tambi, like they're kind of, you know, sticky, but not super. They're nice, they're vibrant. I swatched them out. Pretty colors. Of course, the names are fun because I just used the names here were Chinese, so I used Google Translate. So I got stuff like goose yellow and Shudi, whatever that is, big red. There was something else which was, oh, green head. Well, color called three greens. So whatever you think of it. But yeah, they're all right. I haven't really tried them in work yet. I only just got them. But I will definitely try. But as I can see already that, you know, if you put them too thick, they will try with the shine. I don't know if it kind of shows. Not like I haven't really put many of them here, but, you know, in this corner, in this color, I can see that, you know, it can probably try shiny, which is the deal with most of Gansai Tambi watercolors. Like Kuretake Gansai Tambi also, you know, if you have a thick enough layer, it will dry shiny. So therefore, it's almost impossible to use pencils on top of it because the pencil is just going to gliding on it. So I will try them for basing things because there are kind of, you know, some nice colors. Of course, those greens are like, those two greens are so similar. Those two greens are too similar. And I'm missing kind of like warm sap green type of a color here. You know, it's a kind of a weird palette, but I'm going to try them out before I make my main mind, you know, kind of finally up about them. But, you know, something different, something fun to play with again. And, you know, they obviously, you know, I got them from Temu, so they were not expensive. This one, okay, I do have other soft oil pastels, you know, and they are very soft and they are pretty big sticks. So I heard that these ones are a bit harder and the sticks are small. So I thought for kind of like coloring book images, blending directly on the paper, that could be interesting. You know, just, you know, blending them and using them without, you know, trying to do it with a finger or anything, just trying to blend them from, let's say, I'll take something from here. I might take, okay, and take this one. they're not nasty, but they are harder. And I would like to try actually coloring image with oil pastels as if I was coloring it with pencils, if you know what I mean. You know, would it work? And they are very friendly price, you know, compared to many other sets, you know, because it is smaller size, I guess. And you can see, you know, you can actually work them into each other. And this is textured paper, but in coloring book paper, it will be even smoother finish. Let's see if I can find something lighter to blend it out. Yep. You know, there will be a couple of going back and forth. And I think it actually looks better in real life than it does in camera. But you can see, you can actually move from one to another, directly blended them on paper. And I'm intrigued by that. I want to try it. So that is why they found home with me. Let's not lose them now. Oh, they can be a pain to... Oops. Dropping things. And the rest of it is some books. Okay, I don't really want to buy many books. I have enough books, but things keep happening to me. And this one, what happened was that I found it on Amazon. I really like Marabout, the French publisher for coloring books, publishes Kirby books and Melpomene Chesibanagoto. I'm so sorry, did I butcher that name? I really hope I didn't do a terrible, terrible job. Her books as well. And most of the, I was kind of looking what was there from Marabout. And they had this book and they had it with a discount. All the other books were way more expensive, but this one was a very good deal. So far I've been holding back from buying any of her books because I find there's a lot of black and I find it hard to see how I'm going to fight all that back. I don't know if I'm making it clear. But I would like to try, and looking at it like that near me, you know, directly in real life, I actually think that, yeah, I'm, you know, might be able to work in them. I mainly got interested, I so far wasn't that interested, but I saw her last book, which I really, really like. Something like Magical Voyage or Enchanting Voyage, which was like fantasy themed, and that really appealed to me, but they didn't have French version of that one available yet, at least, you know, on the sites I was looking at. And it would have been, I think I saw what the price would be, and I would wait, you know, for way longer before I get it, you know, on the decent price. But this one was a good deal, and the paper is fantastic. And that's why I wanted the French version, if I wanted one at all, because you can do pretty much anything on this paper. It's thick, it's lovely, it's clean white, beautiful paper. I have a couple of other books on that paper and they are gorgeous. So I'll play with it. I'm not going to do a full flip through of it. Everybody has seen that book so many times, because obviously, you know, this artist is popular for a reason. She is super talented and the artwork is interesting. So I will try it out, possibly try to work here a lot with kind of trying out water-based markers and watercolors and possibly even alcohol markers. Now, next one, another thing that I'm a huge fan of is fairy tales. And if there's a fairy tale book coming out, if I like it in any way, or, you know, don't feel that the line art isn't for me, I will most likely end up buying it. And this is Maria Trolle's Fairy Tales. So, yeah, Fairy Tales is a beautiful book. It's the texture alone, and like the quality of the binding, and you know, from the little gilding here and there, and very, very tastefully colored or kind of designed, you know, how the line art has been treated at the cover. I would love to kind of do something similar with the line art in the book, at least a couple of images, because this kind of a graphic style suits it so well, and I'm intrigued by it. I'd like to kind of try to do it with acrylic markers and gel pens or something like this, because it looks so lovely. And paper is, of course, you know, beautiful, as the Swedish books are. It often feels a bit, Swedish paper feels often a bit thinner than the one in the UK books, but it actually often takes water and different mediums better than UK. I don't know, it's like the mysteries of life. Probably, you know, just how much sizing it has, and you know what type of a paper it is. I'm going to try it out, of course, in a water media in this book, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And even the texture of the pages, you can feel how pleasant and how good quality it is. Of course, it is so far in Swedish only, so identifying fairy tales, like at the end there's a list of fairy tales, and this book is, you know, pages are based on. She gives page numbers and what fairy tales she is basing them on. And yeah, it's Swedish, but you know, Google Translate will take care of that little thing for me. And to be honest, most of them I can recognize anyway. So they're absolutely musicians of Bremen town. That's Rose Red and Snow White, or Snow White and Rose Red, I think is the wrong way. Like I'm a fan of fairy tales, so obviously most of them you would recognize, you know, Beauty and the Beast. It's beautiful. Princess and the Frog. Yeah, it's lovely. And her art style for me can be a bit of a challenge, but at first I wasn't drawn to her art style at all, but now I'm a bit more interested. I kind of, you know, it has started to appeal me more than it did, so I'll try it out, and I think it's going to be fun. The quality is just gorgeous. And this one has also been all over the YouTube videos last month, a couple of months, and it is genuinely beautiful. It's the Radar art, I think, is what she's selling her books usually. Reyhan Udachi, I think, is her name, because I can read here. Reyhan Udachi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it terribly, which I probably am. The artwork here is stunning. You have seen that flip through, and you have seen that book in many other videos already. I'm not going to do a flip through. The paper, I even, you know, have already cut the paper the size, so I can use that between pages. It's really, really lovely. One thing I would wish is that there was, like, there's a lot of pictures that don't have any animals in them, and there's no people at all. Like this one, to me, like, I would love to have at least some animals in it. Something that, you know, gives the little very, very cute landscape or scene kind of a focus or center. But I know that, you know, it's just my taste. A lot of people are opposite, you know, they prefer not to have people in their images, and, you know, love just, you know, just animals or just nature. which is absolutely fine. It's just, you know, I would love to have at least some images which would have some people, or like this one is probably not going to be my deal because I'm not a fan of coloring, you know, detailed interior like this. I do love coloring kind of little scenes in nature and, you know, cute animals like this. This one is cool. I love the fact that they're books. And, you know, it's interesting. But, you know, artwork is beautiful and very distinctive. You can recognize it right away. So I would love to play with it, but I have to also, I haven't really checked yet, you know, how different things are going to behave here. You know, what does this paper think of water? What does this paper think of pencils? We'll find out. Alcohol markers are definitely going to be okay here, and I'd say water-based markers as well, but, you know, can it actually take a little bit of watercolor? It's a different question. And the last thing is something that is quite different and I haven't really seen in many places. I got it, I don't even know if I'm going to color in it, possibly not, because it could be challenging, but I'm a fan of John Bauer's art. She, I think, beginning of 20th century, illustrator of Scandinavian fairy tales. And his style is kind of very dark and very muted and very, very, very distinctive. You can recognize his works right away. And there is a coloring book. It's your usual 10 to 10 size, I think, kind of like same size as Melpomene's book, essentially, like a same measurements, only it's not a thick book. It's quite thin, actually. And the paper is nice, but I really dearly wish they would have printed those images one-sided, because then I could have at least, you know, I would have possibly risked it more then, because I would have been able to use maybe watercolors. The artwork is translated into line art pretty good. Like, I'm quite impressed. So it would be possible to color it pretty easily, but I would really want to use watercolor or some sort of, you know, kind of paint that I can, you know, do big washes with, because of the nature of the art, you know. I think it suits it the best. Besides, it would be very hard to do with pencils, I feel. But it's stunning. The art itself, like, I'm looking at those images and I have, you know, remember his artworks. They kind of instantly, the pictures of his paintings come to my head. It's like, it's really cool. But yeah, I'll see, you know, how much I'm going to be actually coloring it with it, but I'm super happy that it's in my collection because I love his art. Well, that's it for today. That's all my stuff. Wasn't very little, wasn't too much. Hopefully you had good time and maybe saw something that interested you. If you have any questions, pop them into the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, like and subscribe so YouTube would offer them to you when they come out. And have a good night or day or morning, whatever it is in your corner of the world. And bye-bye.